real quick before everything starts. And I know everybody wants to make jokes about my hairline. I don't care. Check out this hat, this Happy Gilmore. Adam Sandler is probably my favorite comedian ever. I picked this up at Kohl's for like $12. Super cool. Queen, one of the greatest rock bands ever. Sweet Freddie Mercury t-shirt from Hot Topic. And anybody that knows me knows my favorite band of all time is Alice in Chains. My favorite album is Jar of Flies. Look at this shirt. That image is just so cool to me. I especially love if you go on YouTube and listen to the song Nutshell. They have a cover of the Jar of Flies, and they like brought it to life. It's like the flies and stuff are moving around in the jar and stuff while the song's playing. Super dope. But I want to get on a darker subject. So I love music. I worked in a movie studio for a while, worked in the movie business. I love all that stuff. It's awesome, But I hate when people get a celebrity platform and use it to be shitty people and use it to hurt people. It's one of the most terrible things that I feel like can happen, because when you look up to a celebrity, an athlete, a movie star, a musician, there's this amount of affection that you're willing to give that person, this amount of love you're willing to show that person because of what they do means to you, There's an old saying. I also love true crime, I've read a lot about serial killers and different criminals and things like that. My favorite, actually, I just want to point this out, is actually John Dillinger. I love the story about catching John Dillinger. But one of the things that interests me is the the psychology behind criminals. And with anybody who's predatory towards any type of victim, one of the things is that their life is always built up to play into a power vacuum and be used to get what they want and victimize people. Perfect example, Sean Diddy Combs. Look at what's going on right now with that. Jay-Z. All the people in the movie industry that were brought out in the Me Too movement. Bill Cosby, all these kind of people. Recently, I've been watching a lot of documentaries and reading about another band that I loved as a kid, the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Their lead singer, Anthony Kiedis. And really that the whole band was kind of involved in some slimy things, but especially Anthony Kiedis and Flea. And it really just sickened me. I can't support their music anymore. I won't play their songs, If there has ever been a Sean Diddy Combs of the rock world, I would have to say it'd be Anthony Kiedis. This guy, some of the things about his life are so sick. Like, at 12 years old, his father was allowing him to have sex with his own girlfriends, was teaching him about drugs and getting him high, supporting him going out and being a criminal to support his own habit. What kind of father-son relationship is that? Like, if there's ever been a case that CPS should have been involved in, there it is right there. And then, of course, it turns Anthony Kiedis into a terrible predator himself. All these different stories that I read and saw in the documentaries is like how him and Flea forced a fan to commit sexual acts while she was being held down in the backstage of one of their shows. How he was having a sexual relationship with the 14-year-old daughter of a police officer. He told her it was okay, he was going to get away with it because he was a rock star. That he's had a history of sexual assault accusations and child molestation accusations, that his bandmates have helped him in some of these things. And I thought, Well, surely if this really happened and there was evidence to it, he would have been locked up a long time ago, right? No. This guy comes out in his own autobiography and Scar Tissue and brags about these things. Basically admits it himself, right? But nobody's looked sideways at him. We hold this guy in regard with rock legends like Chris Cornell, Chester Bennington, Kurt Cobain, Lane Staley. And he's not like any of them. Those are rock stars. Those are idols. Those are people that had problems in their life, but they stood up and used their music and their platform to help people. Until, unfortunately, the end was met by most of them. It's a sad and unfortunate part of that world, but they tried to do the right thing when they were alive. They tried to use their music and their fame to be decent human beings. Kurt Cobain stopped a concert once to protect a woman who was being assaulted in the crowd. Lane Staley punched a guy in the face on the stage in one of his shows because the guy was throwing up obscene gestures and being racist, you know? Chester Bennington and Chris Cornell were both victims of assault in their life and both stood up against child trafficking and other people that were victims. And then you have this guy, Anthony Kiedis, who uses his platform, power, and band to be a predator. Why is he free? Why do you guys still support his music? I don't believe that this guy's a genuine rock star who plays music because it's his passion and he's good at it and he got famous doing it. I believe everything in his life is built so that he can victimize people. And I can't believe the fact that nobody has ever said anything about it, or he hasn't been brought out or exposed or arrested and prosecuted for the harm that he's caused. That's crazy, you know? We have to be careful about our idols in this world, about how we look up to them, how we suspend them in front of our faces, and that when these idols turn out to be terrible people, that we hold them accountable for the things that they've done. This guy has great music. Everything else about him is dark and horrible. And I feel like with Hollywood and the music world cleaning out the darker things and kind of starting fresh, you know, finally giving justice to the people that deserve it, I think that Anthony Kiedis and his bandmates should be at the top of that list and brought out right beside Sean Combs, right beside Bill Cosby. He should have to face the things that he did. I don't know. Let me know what your thoughts on the subject are. Let me know how you feel. And if you like my videos, like and subscribe. And by the way, none of this is hearsay. You can look all these things up yourself.